Have you ever noticed that despite having endless access to information, thinking feels harder than ever? It's strange. We live in a time where a universe of knowledge rests inside our pockets, yet our ability to reflect, analyze, and question seems to be fading. Thinking wasn't always like this. It wasn't a passive process that happened while scrolling through notifications. It was deliberate, almost sacred. Critical thinking used to demand silence. It required us to pause, to sit with questions that made us uncomfortable, and to wrestle with the uncertainty of not having immediate answers. But now, our minds are rarely still. We move from one stimulus to the next at lightning speed. New videos, new opinions, new distractions, each one demanding attention before the last thought even settles. What if thinking isn't something we do anymore, but something happening to us? This is the unsettling truth. Modern thinking is reactive. We don't deeply process ideas, we respond to them. We're not shaping our thoughts. The world is shaping them for us. For viewers who feel mentally exhausted or disconnected from their intellectual potential. This is not a personal failure. It's a symptom of a world where mental discipline has slowly dissolved into convenience. Real thinking takes work. It requires time, patience, and a willingness to confront complexity. And that's precisely what we've lost. To understand how this erosion began, we need to look back to a time when thinking wasn't a burden, but a pursuit. Long before smartphones, notifications, and endless distractions, thinking was a discipline that shaped civilizations. Ancient philosophers didn't just think, they trained their minds. Socrates walked the streets of Athens challenging citizens to justify their beliefs. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius journaled every night, examining their actions and thoughts. Their world had fewer distractions, but it demanded more effort. Thought wasn't entertainment, it was survival. The Enlightenment took this further. Thinkers such as Descartes, Locke, and Kant did not seek answers. They questioned assumptions. They believed that reason wasn't inherited, it was cultivated. This period transformed critical thinking into a societal virtue. It influenced science, politics, religion, and personal identity. Why did people with no smartphones understand life more deeply than we do? Because their minds were not fragmented. They had the time, the space, and the discipline to engage with ideas fully. They lived in a world that rewarded contemplation, not impulsiveness. Today, that world feels foreign. Our access to knowledge has increased 1,000-fold, yet our ability to engage with it has weakened. We skim, we scroll, we capture screenshots instead of insights. Instead of interrogating ideas, we adopt them based on popularity, aesthetics, or convenience. This appeals deeply to those who romanticize older eras, not because they were perfect, but because they demanded presence. Thinking was a craft, not a chore. But somewhere along the way, thinking was no longer something we actively did. It became something we assumed we already possessed. As society evolved, education transitioned from cultivating minds to managing information. Schools prioritized memorizing facts over questioning ideas. Students learned what to think, not how to think. This shift created generations capable of passing tests, but incapable of engaging with the world beyond them. Are we learning, or just consuming information we'll forget by tomorrow? The digital age accelerated this decline. When Google can answer any question, why wrestle with uncertainty? Why read deeply when summaries will do? Why reflect when reactions are rewarded with likes? Convenience quietly erased curiosity. Where once we valued mastery, we now value immediacy. Instead of forming independent thoughts, people outsource their opinions to influencers and headlines. The result is a society that feels informed yet is intellectually hollow. Many viewers feel this hollowness. They sense they're consuming more than ever, yet understanding less. And this leads us to the hidden crisis, one we seldom acknowledge but always feel. Today, we are overwhelmed with thoughts, but starved of thinking. Our minds are flooded with opinions, judgments, and rapid reactions, but rarely reflection. We mistake familiarity for understanding and speed for clarity. Thinking has been replaced by noise. This is the first domino in the collapse of discipline. Without the ability to think deeply, everything else crumbles. Decision-making weakens. Focus deteriorates. Identity fragments. A person who cannot think independently becomes easy to manipulate, distract, and disappoint. We didn't stop thinking because we lost the desire. We stopped because the world made thinking optional and distraction mandatory. The tragedy isn't that we don't think anymore, it's that we don't notice. But if thinking is the foundation, what controls it now? To see how discipline truly collapsed, we must understand the systems that compete for our attention and profit from our distraction. In previous eras, land, gold, and oil were the world's primary currencies. Today, a new resource drives global power: your attention. Corporations are no longer fighting for your money, they're fighting for your mind. Every notification, every binge-worthy clip, every headline engineered to spark outrage isn't an accident. It's a tactic. Your attention has become a battlefield where tech companies compete using psychology more powerful than most governments ever wielded. Their business model is simple. The longer you look, the more they profit. If something online is free, the real product is your mind. Think about that for a moment. You are not a user, you are inventory. Algorithms don't care what you believe, learn, or become. They care only about keeping your eyes glued to a screen, no matter the cost. But how do these platforms capture our minds so effectively? The answer lies in the psychological weapons they deploy. Social platforms don't operate on chance. They operate on neuroscience. Every swipe, vibration, and surprise notification is carefully engineered to hijack the brain's reward system. This is not entertainment, it's behavioral conditioning. Infinite scroll removes stopping points so you never feel done. Autoplay erases decision-making. Likes and comments trigger dopamine spikes that mimic gambling. The platform becomes a slot machine, except the jackpot isn't money, it's your time. Are you using your phone, or is your phone using you? These design features tap into instincts older than civilization. The human brain evolved for survival, not endless novelty. Curiosity kept early humans alive. Today, it keeps them scrolling. What once protected us now imprisons us. Tech companies discovered something terrifying. If you can predict someone's attention, you can control their behavior. And once you control behavior, discipline dissolves. This constant engagement isn't harmless. It's reshaping the brain and destroying the ability to focus. Deep focus used to be natural. People would spend hours reading, working, or contemplating without interruption. Now, maintaining attention for even a few minutes feels like a struggle. Why? Because sustained focus is painful for a mind accustomed to instant stimulation. The brain adapts to what it practices. If it practices fragmentation, distraction becomes the default. If it practices depth, discipline becomes possible. Remember when reading a book was normal? Today, the rapid-fire nature of online content trains the brain to expect immediate reward. This rewires attention into short bursts, perfect for consuming, disastrous for creating. We are turning into spectators of our own lives. As attention fragments, thinking becomes shallow, and commitment becomes impossible. The collapse of focus is not a personal weakness. It's a cultural transformation. But the attention economy doesn't just steal our time. It steals something far more dangerous: the illusion of productivity. We live in a strange paradox. People are busier than ever, yet achieving less. Notifications, emails, and multitasking give the sensation of progress, but in reality, most of this activity is motion without direction. We confuse being active with being effective. Modern productivity tools promise efficiency, but often create dependency. The more tools we use, the less agency we have. We outsource memory to apps, decision-making to algorithms, and priorities to systems designed to serve themselves. When attention is scattered, discipline cannot survive. Without the ability to focus deeply, we lose the capacity to complete tasks, pursue goals, or build identity. The attention economy doesn't just weaken discipline, it replaces it with distraction disguised as purpose. You're not losing discipline because you're lazy. You're losing it because your mind is being trained to avoid depth. Once attention fractures, discipline erodes. But who benefits from a world where people cannot focus, commit, or resist temptation? To answer that, we must examine the systems designed to keep us obediently distracted. We live in a world that worships ease. Everything from food to entertainment to relationships is optimized for comfort. You don't walk. You order. You don't cook. You tap. You don't plan. Your device reminds you. Convenience has become a cultural value, and discipline is its first casualty. In the past, effort was normal. If you wanted something, you earned it. Tasks had friction, time, labor, patience. Those obstacles weren't weaknesses. They were training. They shaped character. Now, friction is treated like failure. If something requires effort, we assume something is wrong. What happens to a society that worships convenience more than competence? When ease becomes the ultimate priority, discipline feels outdated. We don't push through discomfort, we avoid it. And a mind that avoids discomfort cannot develop discipline. The modern world has conditioned us to believe that anything difficult is unnecessary, and anything slow is irrelevant. You should work harder, read more, or commit deeply, but they feel resistance the moment something gets difficult. That resistance isn't a flaw, it's conditioning. But convenience didn't just change what we do. It changed how we feel about time, reward, and effort. Discipline is built on one simple principle: choosing long-term reward over short-term pleasure. But today, the opposite is celebrated. Instant gratification is everywhere. Snackable content, instant messages, one-day delivery, dopamine on demand. Why wait when you can have everything now? The problem is not pleasure itself, it's the immediacy of it. Pleasure without effort destroys meaning. Goals without struggle feel empty. Achievement without sacrifice breeds entitlement. Once the mind adapts to quick rewards, long-term pursuits, learning a skill, building a business, nurturing relationships, feel unbearably slow. This is why New Year's resolutions fail. Why hobbies die in a week. Why people feel restless without stimulation. A modern mind has been trained to crave results, not growth. A society without delayed gratification produces individuals who abandon anything that doesn't offer immediate payoff. You often blame yourselves for laziness, but the truth is more sinister. They've been neurologically conditioned to expect instant success. And when gratification no longer requires effort, identity itself becomes shallow. There was a time when identity was shaped through hardship, apprenticeships, TRILS mastery. You became a musician by practicing, a warrior by training, a thinker by questioning. Today, identity is performative, not earned. With a profile, a platform, and a persona, anyone can appear as something they've never become. Social media provides the illusion of progress without the pain of discipline. You don't need to be fit, you just need the right angle. You don't need to be wise, you just need a quote. You don't need to succeed, you just need the appearance of success. If everyone is becoming someone online, why is no one becoming anything offline? This performative identity erodes discipline because discipline is rooted in reality. When identity becomes a costume, effort feels unnecessary. Why build substance when you can broadcast illusion? You feel this internal conflict. You want real growth. But you are surrounded by a culture that rewards image over effort. And this leads to perhaps the most dangerous shift of all, the emotional fragility epidemic. Discipline requires resilience, the ability to face discomfort without retreat. But modern society treats discomfort as trauma. The smallest emotional challenge is labeled overwhelming. Failure feels catastrophic. Criticism feels personal. Struggle feels intolerable. We are raising generations who expect life to accommodate their feelings, rather than learning to command them. When emotions dictate action, discipline cannot exist. A person ruled by feelings will quit whenever something becomes difficult. And when quitting feels justified, discipline becomes impossible. This fragility isn't natural. It's engineered by a system that profits when individuals are impulsive, insecure, and dependent. The collapse of discipline isn't a mystery. It's the predictable outcome of a world designed to remove effort, eliminate waiting, replace identity with performance, and treat discomfort as danger. But beneath these cultural forces lies something far more intimate and unsettling: the transformation happening inside the human brain itself. To understand why discipline feels impossible, we must examine the psychology of the modern mind. Human brains evolved in a world where attention was a survival skill. You had to notice the rustling in the bushes, the shift in the wind, the slightest change in your environment. Focus kept you alive. Distraction killed you. Today, that same brain is trapped in an environment it was never designed for, one overflowing with constant stimulation. Every ping, swipe, and flashing notification is a digital predator fighting for your attention. Your brain's reward system, powered by dopamine, once pushed you toward meaningful survival tasks. Now, dopamine fires for novelty, not necessity. Each new stimulus offers a tiny reward, and before you know it, your mind becomes addicted not to achievement, but to stimulation itself. This is the trap. The modern mind doesn't seek meaning. It seeks distraction. You often wonder why discipline feels impossible. Here's the reason: it's not a lack of willpower. Your brains are being chemically trained to avoid depth. But the most dangerous battle isn't the one happening around us. It's the one happening in silence. There was a time when silence was normal, moments of stillness between activities, space for thought, reflection, and imagination. Today, silence feels threatening. The moment our thoughts emerge, we drown them with noise music, videos, podcasts, anything to avoid being alone with the mind. Why? Because silence forces confrontation. In silence, we face our doubts, insecurities, and unresolved questions. We encounter who we really are, not who we pretend to be. Distraction becomes a shield, protecting us from the discomfort of self-awareness. When did silence become scarier than noise? Modern minds treat boredom like an emergency. We reach for our phones not because we need them, but because we cannot stand the stillness inside ourselves. This avoidance creates a dangerous loop. The less time we spend with our thoughts, the weaker our ability to control them. And without control, discipline disintegrates. Many of you feel a strange anxiety when disconnected from devices. You didn't realize that this isn't preference, it's dependency. But avoiding silence comes with a hidden cost. We lose the ability to endure discomfort. Humans today are more comfortable than any generation before, and more anxious than any generation before. That's no coincidence. Our ancestors expected hardship. They developed emotional endurance because life demanded it. Today, we expect ease. Struggle feels abnormal. In a world where everything is instant, anything slow feels unbearable. Here lies the paradox. Comfort does not reduce suffering, it amplifies it. Without exposure to discomfort, the smallest challenge feels overwhelming. The first sign of difficulty triggers panic, avoidance, or quitting. The moment something requires discipline, something easier steals our attention. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the birthplace of growth. Without it, discipline has nowhere to root itself. Nd as discomfort avoidance grows. Something even more insidious spreads through the mind. Never has humanity consumed so much information and understood so little. We are mentally overloaded, but spiritually empty. We gather fragments of knowledge, yet lack clarity. We hold opinions, yet lack conviction. We chase productivity, yet lack purpose. This is the modern condition. Intelligent, informed, and anxious. Why? Because information without discipline becomes noise. A mind full of input but lacking focus becomes restless. We confuse activity with meaning and stimulation with fulfillment. The result is not wisdom, it's overwhelm. A distracted mind cannot build identity. It cannot commit. It cannot finish what it starts. Without discipline, intelligence becomes a burden, not a gift. The collapse of discipline isn't simply cultural, it's neurological. We are not losing discipline because we are weak. We are losing it because our environment rewires the very biology that once protected us. But this collapse isn't irreversible. The same mind that has been fragmented can be rebuilt. In the final chapter, we explore how to reclaim focus, rebuild discipline, and rediscover meaning in a world designed to distract. Rebuilding discipline begins with a simple truth. You cannot control your life until you control your attention. Start by removing what weakens focus. Turn off non-essential notifications. Set boundaries around digital use. Create pockets of disconnection moments where your mind is allowed to breathe. Attention is not something you lose. It's something you give away. The first step in reclaiming discipline is choosing where your attention goes. Deep work is not natural, it's trained. Begin with small, uninterrupted sessions of focused effort. Read without multitasking. Work without checking messages. Sit with your thoughts before reaching for external stimulation. The mind strengthens the same way muscles do through resistance. Each moment of focus builds neural pathways that make discipline easier tomorrow than it is today. Identity shapes behavior. If you believe you are someone who lacks discipline, your actions will follow. But change starts with a shift in identity. Identity gives action, gives reward, gives reinforcement. Decide who you want to become. Take a small action that aligns with that identity. Reward it. Repeat. Over time, discipline becomes less of a struggle and more of a reflection of who you are. Hook. Your mind can be rebuilt not by tools, but by choices. Discipline is not restriction, it is liberation. The ability to choose your actions, direct your thoughts, and build your future is the ultimate freedom. When effort returns, meaning returns. When meaning returns, distraction loses its power. The disciplined mind does not chase everything, it chooses something. And in that choice, identity is formed, purpose is revealed, and life gains depth once again.